Hey there. Quickly before we start the video, I have tried 3 different times now to record this video with all of the NPCs in the settlement itself, and I do not have enough resources on this computer for that to actually work. So apologies, but while I discuss several named NPCs in this video, the settlement itself is not going to have any so that I can actually film it. It's been a long process. I've been doing this since I got home about 8 hours ago. So, yeah. And this is what, day 3 of working on this video? Anyway, yeah, that's basically everything. Into the video now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes of all teenagers, hi, my name's Christian, and welcome to the second settlement tour in our Fallout 4 settlement build series. If this is your first time with us, this video is the culmination of 50 episodes of settlement building, entirely streamed live on Kick and adding up to approximately 150 hours of content, all of which is available in the playlist linked below. I've been a fan of the Fallout franchise for about a decade now, having played close to every game I could get my hands on, and as the saying goes, even still, I always admired the ambition and implementation of the settlement build system. For myself, few game mechanics are more enticing than the opportunity to create my own piece of the story, a chance to carve out a section all my own within the game's vast landscape. With Fallout 4, we have dozens of such opportunities, and I plan on taking them all, slowly but surely. Today, we visit the restored township of Jamaica Plain, one of the suburbs of the greater Boston area. Jamaica Plain, under the care of the new Commonwealth Provisional Government and the protection of the Minutemen, has been rebuilt and restored as a shining city in the darkness of the Wasteland. In the 9 years following the defeat of the Institute and the assumption of the 3 primary factions into the NCPG, the United Forces shortly absorbed the Commonwealth's various and scattered settlements under a single governing body in exchange for providing each settlement with protection and the assurance of basic amenities. Shortly following the Minutemen and Brotherhood of Steel providing security outposts across the land, citizens from all corners of the Commonwealth began to migrate closer to the safest strongholds of the new order. In response to concerns of the potential for overcrowding, disease, radiation poisoning, and resource shortages, the NCPG passed into law the Resettlement Act. This act provides monetary and/or material incentives to groups of 10 or more families willing to relocate to historic Old World neighborhoods, townships, and landmarks. This provided a solution both to the risks of overcrowding settlements like Diamond City and Goodneighbor, while simultaneously ensuring a strong, permanent presence in previously disputed territories once inhabited by hostile forces. The first stop on our tour is, of course, the Town Hall. Once rumored to be home to hidden treasures from the old world, the Town Hall has been restored and returned to its primary function as a municipal office, overseeing the processes of managing trade routes, infrastructure improvements, inter-settlement relations, and ensuring that law and order remains strong. Restored from the wreck of a drumlin diner location, Up and Down is one of several eateries in Jamaica Plain, contributing to a variety of cuisine offered in the township. Specializing in quick eats, as the owner calls it, Up and Down's reputation for rapid response times and consistent quality is slowly growing across the Commonwealth as it serves dozens of citizens and travelers daily. Established by the Minutemen Provisioner Corps under the Department of Logistics, the Jamaica Plain Post Office, while minimalist in its design, serves as a vital cog in the transportation machine that moves all manner of materials and goods across the Commonwealth. As Becky Fallon, owner and operator of Fallon's Basement in Diamond City, found increased success following the mass securing of trade routes and highways across the Commonwealth, she decided to franchise. One such store can be found in the heart of downtown JP, providing all manner of clothing for any occasion or need the Commonwealth might require. Once the premier establishment in the old world suburb of Jamaica Plain, the Big 50 has been restored to its former glory for the township, serving a modified menu which incorporates modern ingredients into old world recipes found in the former chef's notes. Even centuries later, the establishment continues to exude the rustic Italian countryside of old, though its living memory diminishes continually, even among the ghouls. As detailed in the Resettlement Act, each township established or rebuilt under the NCPG would be provided with the means, materiel, and training to form a local police department to uphold the law of the NCPG and keep the peace among the citizenry, allowing for the resources of the Minutemen and Brotherhood forces to be dedicated to the ongoing efforts to secure the greater Commonwealth lands. Building off of recovered law codes and legal texts found during various Brotherhood and NCPG excavation and recovery efforts into central Boston, the police forces of the Commonwealth largely resemble those of Old Boston in both form and function. While not provided the same armaments as the NCPG's military forces, the JPPD have built up a formidable armory if ever needed. Though their holding cells only ever really boast drunkards to any regularity, occasionally, these cells are required during court cases, in which case the smallest cell is reserved. The old phrase, "the grass is always greener on the other side," was written for places like Trader's Respite. In comparison to the various homes of JP's citizens, the motel must seem like frugality, but to the traveling trader or wasteland wanderer, Trader's Respite must seem like the Ritz. A warm bed, clean shower, and functional bathroom? In this economy? How does that saying go about beggars and choosers? Being straightforward, Trader's Respite provides an invaluable service to dozens of wasteland travelers every day, and is vital in expanding the influence of the NCPG's new lifestyle to all corners of the Commonwealth. Owned and operated by Marvin and Daisy McCloskey, the Fourth Rail is a favorite watering hole of the community, offering the widest variety of food and drink in town. A member of the East Coast Enclave in a previous life, Marvin escaped to the Commonwealth following the Brotherhood victory in the capital Wasteland, preferring the life of a deserter to the death of a foot soldier. Finding his wife Daisy in good neighbor, the two would settle down for a number of years before answering the call of the NCPG. In honor of the Third Rail, where the pair first met years ago, the Fourth Rail has always taken a distinct pro-ghoul stance that, while certainly echoed by the NCPG legally, is not always reflected socially by the locals. Jake Peterson, or JP to his friends, was a small-time caravaner in Bunker Hill before being pushed out by the established names and took to Jamaica Plain on a lark, hoping to try his hand at finding the town's hidden treasures. After realizing he'd been too late, he was ready to pack up and try his luck out west towards Nuka World. But just as he was leaving, he realized the fledgling township's lack of trade goods could be just the opportunity he needed to push his way into the market. Purchasing and restoring an old storefront right near the town center, JP's destiny was forged. When the three primary factions forged the NCPG and declared rightful governance of the Commonwealth, one of the first groups to recognize the opportunities they could take under this new leadership were the Atom Cats. Realizing that their fast friend, the elusive sole survivor, was at the heart of this new operation, the cats were overjoyed to provide their services. Forming something resembling a union, even if that resemblance is only replicated in funhouse mirrors, the Atom Cats expanded their network through the repurposing of old workshops as pit stops across the various townships in the Wasteland, exporting both their expertise and style. As detailed under the Resettlement Act, the NCPG provides, as part of their material resource incentives, the means to establish a sharecropper farm so that these rebuilding efforts need not rely solely on trade caravans. Following the rustic, colonial construction style of the town, the accompanying warehouse has the capacity to hold up to 2 years of rationed produce, though often holds no more than 3 to 6 months, especially in years with fairer seasons. Outlined in the NCPG's charters, quote, "Each settlement large enough to be classified as a township or larger must provide adequate facilities to establish a garrison and hold a minimum of 20 Minutemen, alongside facilities to house a career office for the purposes of enlistment and service." The Garrison and Career Center in JP exists as a singular building partitioned into 2 separate functions. Providing a glimpse at the various functions of the NCPG's military forces, the Career Center gives a glorified look at the possibilities and opportunities afforded by service in the defense of the NCPG and its citizens. While not the primary peacekeeping force of JP, the Minutemen Garrison does operate a series of checkpoints around the gateways into and out of town. While the headquarters of public occurrences have relocated from Diamond City to the capital of the NCPG, each settlement sizable enough is home to a local office, providing both Commonwealth-wide updates and local intrigue to its readers far and wide. Its Jamaica Plain facility is one of several print houses, contributing both to the paper's production and the collection of the news itself. Editor-in-chief of the JP branch, Pierre Whitman, hopes for a long career in his position, finding the relative calm of the township to be just his speed. As outlined in the Resettlement Act, the establishment and promotion of courthouses to the various major settlements in the Commonwealth are an integral cog in the machine of governance, invaluable in keeping and protecting law and order in service to the NCPG's citizenry. Outside of the Tribune Superior in the capital, whose legal reach extends across the whole of the Commonwealth, each courthouse's legal jurisdiction extends out past its township to the surrounding minor settlements in the region, as demarcated by the NCPG, ensuring that frontier justice, as it were, doesn't begin as soon as the city walls end. Thankfully, the community of Jamaica Plain tends to favor crimes of indecency to the more felonious pursuits. Across from the chapel of which it receives its name, St. Luke's Hospital is a restored structure of the Old World, serving the same functions to an equally needy crowd. With each doctor and surgeon trained in 88 University's top-class medical school, the people of Jamaica Plain are safe in the hands of these professionals. Named for the patron saint of physicians and author of the Gospel of Luke, St. Luke's Chapel continues to be restored to its former glory and once again serves as a light to the world, spreading the message of Christ to the souls of Jamaica Plain and her surroundings. Father Caleb, who trained under Father Daniel in the tradition handed to him by Sister Marcella and the Abbey of the Road north of the Commonwealth, is among the first of his generation to be sent out to establish a permanent foothold in the townships and cities of the NCPG, reigniting the candle of faith that once burned brightly across this land. named in honor of the last of the 12 disciples to pass on, and the author of both the Gospel of John and the Book of Revelations. The public library in Jamaica Plain acts as a central pillar of the community, accumulating the various texts from surrounding settlements still legible, and restoring or reprinting those too frail to use. The books from St. John's are core to various functions of the township, including, but not limited to, the schoolhouse, courthouse, and town hall. Rebuilt from the municipal plans found under the town hall, the Jamaica Plain Schoolhouse provides the township and surrounding homestead settlements with all the education and training a student might need to prepare them for attendance at 88 University or to work at any of the various businesses in town. One of a select few schools even operational in the NCPG, the schoolhouse is a beacon of enlightenment in an era of ignorance. The once and future grocery store in Jamaica Plain, Hen House, operates not only as a permanent trade hall for the traveling merchants across the Commonwealth, but purchases the produce provided by the sharecropper farm at a fair price and resells the goods at a premium alongside various importations. Twins in constant rivalry with each other, Jack and John O'Leary own the adjacent weapon and armor stores, always trying to one-up each other with their selections and prices. While the rest of the community finds it rather quaint, these two have been warring for superiority since John managed to be born mere seconds before Jack, who held tightly to his brother's foot while doing so. When the community of Jamaica Plain realized that hair salons and barbershops used to be two entirely different establishments, a return to tradition was made, and the citizenry of Jamaica Plain have been seen as slightly odd for it ever since. While many places in the Commonwealth would see no difference between the art of a hairstylist and the precision of a barber, the township swears by the difference not only mattering, but being necessary and proper for the perfection of their craft. When Linda Lerman found a building full of broken laundry equipment, her first and natural instinct was to strip them for parts and sell them to traders. When she realized they could be of a greater use and a consistent source of income with the travelers laid away at the motel, she utilized her skills as a mechanic and her charm with the traders to fix them up and create the first laundromat that the Commonwealth has seen in over 200 years. Her services as a mechanic also extend to the many washing machines and dryers housed across the township. Dominic Mooney, formerly of Diamond City, had a great fondness for radio. A part-time technician for DCR, she was also one of Travis's few fans in town before he was cool. When Dominic heard about the Resettlement Act and the recently rebuilt town, she packed up and hitched a ride with some traders heading south. Purchasing the old radio station from the town hall for a modest sum, she went to work repairing the equipment. Over the course of several years, she was finally able to get the old girl up and running again, and is set to premiere her new station at the start of next year. Assuming, that is, she can find someone confident enough to put in front of the mic to host the station. A grant from the NCPG paved the way for the reinstatement of JPTV Studio following a scavenging expedition during the early Reconstruction days. The stipulation of this grant, of course, was that the station provide its programming to the citizens at no extra cost than was included in their limited taxes. 9 years in, the station's most popular shows include JPTV News, parroting information gathered by public occurrences or over the radio; Hearth and Home, a cooking show which provides creative step-by-step recipes to spice up the Wasteland's offerings, as it were; and finally, Faith and Reason, a religious program filmed in studio by Father Caleb twice a week, providing a deeper understanding of the scriptures and teachings offered at St. Luke's each Sunday, alongside children's programming to expand their spiritual understanding at an earlier age. A fourth set in the studio provides the public with the opportunity to produce their own limited-run programming on nearly any topic of their interest for a modest production fee and scheduled time on air. On the third floor, the offices of JPTV are in constant use, whether collecting news from the Commonwealth in the newsroom, setting up weekly timetables and scheduling advertising in the boardroom and station chief's office, or writing the next week's programming in the writer's room. At each entrance to the township, you will find security checkpoints and rad scrubbers. Manned by the various Minutemen garrisoned in town, these checkpoints offer another level of security to the citizens inside the wall, while preventing bad actors from sabotaging the township's defenses or causing harm to its citizens. Many of the first families to jump at the opportunity given by the Resettlement Act to migrate to Jamaica Plain came for a chance at wealth offered by the treasures of Jamaica. Others came to make a name for themselves, while others still came to settle down and build a life, and yet still others to shape the lives of the next generation. Reconstruction and restoration are never easy tasks to undertake, but the results are undoubtedly worthy of the efforts, and have helped to ensure the promotion and continued propagation of the NCPG as not only a possible future, but a worthy future for the Commonwealth. While the veracity of the treasures of Jamaica Plain may be a hotly debated legend in the town, the community has become a treasure itself, restoring and rebuilding the Commonwealth one brick at a time, and slowly but surely returning the fruits of civilization to a wasteland which has long forgotten its ways. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the second settlement tour video in our series. But before you go, I would appreciate it if you held on for just a few more moments to hear from me personally. First of all, I'd like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching today's video, as it's taken me an absolutely insane amount of time for us to even get to this point. Now, as I said at the beginning, with the culmination of over 150 hours of work on camera, let alone the hours and hours and hours of off-camera work like landscaping, zoning, building some of the housing, all sorts of things. As I'm sure you all have noticed, this settlement is so much larger and more detailed than Bethesda ever intended. I can barely squeeze 2 frames together for a 10-second clip, and I've had to suffer terrible screen tearing as I go along, but that's more so par for the course, right? Still, I've greatly enjoyed my time working on this, as I hope all of you who've watched the streams live over on Kick or the VODs here on the channel have had. Special thank you to my 2 most consistent live viewers, Al the T-God and NCR Ranger Bravo, for the great times, wonderful conversation, and the awesome suggestions, without which I'd probably still be stuck on several things in the settlement. Secondly, several of the named settlers and locations in the settlement were suggested on the streams, and I'd like to give credit to Ranger Bravo with naming the 4th rail along with its owners Marvin and Daisy, and Al for naming New Dawn Radio and its owner Dominic, and one of the two, if not both of them, my memory's a little short on this, for coming together and having inspired St. John of Patmos's library. If you would like to contribute to naming a future NPC, location, or settlement landmark of some sort, make sure to follow our progress and comment your suggestions as I ask for them. Thirdly, I'd like to say thank you for the over 200 subscribers, which is insane to even think about. It took me about 6 months to go from 0 to 100 subscribers, and it took only 1 month after to go from 100 subscribers to 200 subscribers, which I never really expected in the first place. Those of you who know me outside of this or have been watching for a long time will probably know that it's been a massive dream of mine to become a full-time content creator at some point, and to have such a strong response in such a short time relative to my channel size is absolutely amazing. I thank God for all of you and for the wonderful reception of my work so far. Lastly, I'd like to ask that if you've enjoyed what you saw today and haven't already done so, consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribing, and turning on notifications for the channel. We are less than 300 subscribers away from me being able to turn on channel memberships and start to monetize my content for myself, which is, again, just crazy to think about. I'm still trying to figure out what the benefits of that membership would entail, but I'm definitely open to suggestions. Perhaps a Discord server, maybe a private Minecraft server, something. I'm still working on it, but we'll get there. For the next couple of days, I will be streaming, but I'll be taking a short break from Fallout content and jumping over to GTA to see what their recent-ish update has in store, and give myself a chance to decompress from all of the building. We'll return very shortly to our regularly scheduled settlement building with our next great project, the Boston Airport. I've got a few specific things in store for this airport that I've been looking forward to working on for a while now, and I can't wait to show you all what's in store for us. And there, we finally made it to the end of the 11 pages I drafted, redrafted, and finalized in scripting. So let me finish off by saying once more, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, approximately the same bat time, and definitely the same bat channel. Have a good one.